Marcus Aurelius once declared, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In an existence where external forces continuously attempt to determine our emotional state, our thinking patterns, and our behaviors, envision possessing the capability to locate internal tranquility and contentment without regard to the turmoil surrounding you. That's not merely influential, it's transformative. It's about seizing command, not of external circumstances, but of something far more significant and completely within our grasp, our own consciousness. Stoic philosophy instructs us in resilience, appreciation, and the discipline of living a meaningful existence. But this isn't simply a historical examination. It's about you, your existence, right now. It's about confronting the disorder of contemporary society without losing your equilibrium. It's about discovering serenity within turbulence and joy in the most fundamental experiences. It's about converting your mornings from something you resist into a potent launching platform for a day saturated with direction and fulfillment. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by life's commotion, if you've ever struggled to locate a moment's calm, or if you're simply intrigued about how ancient knowledge can become your hidden advantage in modern times, remain with us. This might just be the content that revolutionizes everything for you. Let's explore the Stoic approaches that can assist us in constructing not merely a morning sequence, but an existence filled with purposefulness, strength, and authentic satisfaction. I request that you dedicate your complete concentration to this content from beginning to conclusion. If you've arrived here, you're not like the majority. You're exceptional. Someone who pursues profundity and understanding. Your commitment to absorbing this material entirely distinguishes you even further. This might sound like an elaborate concept, but it's actually a magnificently straightforward idea originating from Japanese culture. It's about uncovering that optimal intersection where your enthusiasms, capabilities, societal requirements, and economic viability all converge. It's your distinctive reason for existence. Imagine awakening each morning energized by a transparent objective that inspires you, something that makes the notion of delaying irrelevant. Marcus Aurelius wasn't exclusively about tolerating life's difficulties with rigid fortitude. He was profoundly invested in the concept that we're all present to fulfill our function, to contribute something valuable. He encouraged us to approach each day as a chance to complete our role with authenticity and enthusiasm. Now consider that within the framework of Ikigai, it's not exclusively about locating what you cherish. It's about coordinating it with what society requires and what you excel at. That's where the transformation occurs. But how do you commence revealing your Ikigai? It begins with introspection. Ask yourself, what am I enthusiastic about? What am I skilled at? What does society require from me? What can I receive compensation for? It's acceptable if the responses don't materialize immediately. This is about the expedition, investigating different dimensions of your existence and interests, and observing where they merge. This pursuit for your Ikigai isn't simply some superficial feel-good activity. It's about establishing the groundwork for an existence that's abundant in significance and contentment. When you coordinate your daily behaviors with your deeper objective, even the routine tasks acquire importance. Your connections begin to thrive because you're more present and invested. Your inventiveness expands because you're coordinated with your genuine enthusiasms, and overall satisfaction, well, it becomes more of a perpetual companion than a temporary visitor. So, as you contemplate setting your alarm for tomorrow morning, consider what Ikigai signifies for you. What could be so captivating that you'd spring out of bed enthusiastic to commence the day? Remember, this isn't about instantaneous transformation. It's a process, a gentle revelation, and as Marcus Aurelius would remind us, it's about executing the work day by day with dedication and honor. Finding your ikigai isn't exclusively about individual fulfillment. It's about welcoming your function in the broader fabric of existence, contributing your distinctive thread to the continuously evolving human narrative. The ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were emphatic about the concept that our behaviors should be deliberate, not simply arbitrary acts launched into space, but intentional steps guided by our internal navigation. This philosophy extends magnificently into how we prepare for the day ahead, commencing the night before. Here's the reality. The caliber of your morning originates with how you invest your evening. It's tempting to consume entertainment until late hours or navigate digital platforms until your vision blurs. But let's pause and contemplate how that establishes you for the subsequent day. Your brain requires time to decompress, to process the day's occurrences, and to recharge for what lies ahead. That's where a substantial pre-sleep sequence enters the equation. Imagine treating your evening sequence with the identical respect and purposefulness as you would any other significant dimension of your existence. This isn't about rigid self-discipline that extracts the pleasure from your evenings. It's about creating a territory that supports your well-being and coordinates with your ambitions for the subsequent day. For instance, restricting screen exposure an hour before bed isn't about denying yourself relaxation. It's about granting your consciousness the signal that it's time to decompress, making it simpler to fall asleep and awaken feeling revitalized. Planning somewhat for the subsequent day can also be transformative. It could be as straightforward as documenting your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This act alone establishes a transparent direction, ensuring you awaken with a sensation of objective. And here's where the Stoic orientation genuinely illuminates. It's about acknowledging what's within our command and releasing what's not. We might not be able to command every detail of our day, but we can certainly influence how we commence it. And let's not overlook some profound breathing or contemplation to pacify the consciousness. This practice isn't simply superficial. It's a potent instrument that signals to your body it's time to rest. Inhaling profoundly and exhaling gradually assists in reducing pressure, lowering your heart rate, and preparing your body for a deep, restorative sleep. It's like pressing the reset mechanism, ensuring you awaken not exclusively physically revitalized, but mentally and emotionally as well. In today's perpetually connected society, this might sound like a monumental challenge, but it's absolutely essential for establishing the tone of your entire day. Picture this: the initial moments of your morning, untouched by the digital clamor of correspondence, digital platform notification, or the buzzing information cycle. It's exclusively you, your interpretations, and the serene quietness of dawn. That's not merely refreshing, it's empowering. Marcus Aurelius was a vigorous advocate for living with purposefulness and concentration. He wasn't distracted by the notifications of ancient Rome, and believe me, he had his portion of distractions. Instead, he emphasized the significance of concentrating on the present instant and the task at hand. He understood something that's even more relevant today. The caliber of your concentration determines the caliber of your existence. So how do we apply this ancient knowledge in the contemporary age? First, it's about creating a morning territory that's deliberately free from digital distractions. This isn't about rejecting technology, but rather selecting not to permit it to dictate the commencement of your day. It's tempting to roll over and immediately verify your device, but that instantly positions you in a reactive condition, responding to the demands and dramas of the external reality. Instead, grant yourself the gift of a serene commencement. Imagine dedicating the initial hour of your day to activities that nourish your soul and sharpen your consciousness. Maybe it's consuming literature, contemplating, documenting, or simply enjoying a beverage as you gaze out the window. This isn't wasted time. It's an investment in your well-being. By avoiding distractions, You're not exclusively avoiding pressure. You're actively creating a reservoir of serenity and concentration that you'll draw from throughout the day. Making the most of your mornings isn't about adding more to your task list. It's about subtracting the commotion that doesn't serve you. It's about prioritizing what genuinely matters before the day's demands commence pulling at your concentration. This is where the Stoic practice of concentrating on what's within your command comes into play. You might not be able to command the flood of correspondence waiting for you, but you can command how and when you select to engage with them. So tomorrow, challenge yourself to commence the day on your conditions. Resist the impulse to dive into the digital reality first thing. Instead, anchor yourself in the present instant, savoring the serenity and potential that the morning holds. Remember, every day is a new chance to exist more deliberately, more serenely, and more in coordination with who you aspire to become. Let's make our mornings a testament to that ambition, guided by the timeless knowledge of Stoicism and the unwavering concentration on what genuinely matters. Stoicism at its core is about comprehending what is within our command and functioning with virtue and purposefulness in those areas. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, these individuals weren't exclusively talking about tolerating life's difficulties with rigid fortitude. They were advocating for a proactive engagement with existence, seizing charge of our behaviors and our orientation. Awakening consistently as a practice embodies this philosophy. It's a declaration that we are in command of how we commence our day, that we are not at the mercy of whims or external pressures, constructing an existence, as Stoicism suggests, step by step with contentment in each behavior, is a potent concept. It reminds us that significant changes commence with minor, consistent behaviors. Awakening at the identical time each morning might seem like a minor thing, but it's a cornerstone pattern that establishes the stage for everything else. It's about creating a stable foundation for your day, where you're not rushing from the instant you open your eyes, but rather commencing with a sensation of command and objective. But here's the reality. Consistency is challenging. It's supposed to be. The early days of attempting to awaken at the identical time each morning can feel like an uphill struggle. Your bed feels more comfortable than ever, and the temptation to delay just one more time can feel irresistible. This is where the Stoic practice of persistence comes in. It's about reminding yourself why you're executing this, about the individual you're becoming through this discipline. It's about perceiving beyond the immediate comfort and concentrating on the long-term benefits this pattern will bring into your existence. Becoming a morning individual, then, is not exclusively about the mornings themselves. It's about embodying the qualities that make you resilient, concentrated, and deliberate throughout your day. It's a practice in self-command, in coordinating your behaviors with your beliefs, and in developing the type of existence you want to live one morning at a time. So how do we make consistency our ally? Commence by establishing a transparent intention the night before. Remind yourself why awakening at a specific time is significant to you. Is it to possess more quiet time in the morning for consuming literature or contemplation? Is it to exercise, or simply to commence your day in a more relaxed and commanded manner? Then create an environment that supports this pattern. Maybe it's retiring somewhat earlier to ensure you obtain enough sleep, or keeping your curtains slightly open to permit the natural illumination to awaken you gently. And when it becomes challenging, remember the Stoic belief in the authority of our own determination and the significance of functioning according to our principles. Each morning that you awaken at your selected time, you're not exclusively commencing your day. You're reinforcing a dedication to yourself, to your development, and to living an existence of purposefulness and objective. Amidst all this discussion of discipline, consistency, and awakening with the sun, it's paramount to remember one thing: we're human, and being human signifies we're magnificently complex creatures with brains that frequently prefer the trajectory of least resistance, the instant gratification route. This is precisely why embarking on new patterns, like transforming our mornings, can initially feel like an uphill struggle. Yet there's something incredibly liberating in acknowledging this reality. It's not a defect. It's simply part of the human experience. Now, let's channel some Stoicism into this concept. Stoicism instructs us the significance of self-kindness and comprehension, alongside its calls for discipline and resilience. Marcus Aurelius, in his individual writings, frequently reminded himself to be patient and forgiving with his own shortcomings. He understood that berating oneself for every slip-up was not the trajectory to development. Instead, he advocated for recognizing our errors, discovering from them, and then releasing them. This approach is crucial when we're attempting to develop new morning sequences, or any pattern for that matter. Those initial few days or even weeks can be challenging. Your alarm sounds, and every fiber of your being wants to stay cocooned in the warmth of your bed. And let's be honest, there will be days when you'll surrender to that desire. That's acceptable. The key is what you execute next. Do you berate yourself, spiraling into a cycle of guilt and self-disapproval? Or do you take a breath, forgive yourself, and perceive the subsequent morning as a fresh chance to attempt again? Forgiveness and patience with ourselves are not signs of weakness. They're indicators of strength and knowledge. They signify we're in it for the long duration, prepared to traverse the rises and falls with elegance. This Stoic practice of self-kindness is about comprehending our nature, functioning with it, and gently nudging ourselves toward the patterns and existence we aspire to. Moreover, taking it easy isn't about manufacturing excuses or permitting ourselves to perpetually fall short of our ambitions. It's about recognizing that development is a process filled with discovering curves and obstacles. It's about comprehending that each new day brings with it a new collection of challenges and chances, and it's in this daily renewal that we discover our strength and resilience. So as you function on welcoming those early mornings, or any new pattern, remember to take it easy on yourself. Celebrate the minor victories, discover from the obstacles, and approach each day with a consciousness prepared to attempt again. This isn't exclusively about becoming a morning individual. It's about developing an orientation that's prepared to confront life's challenges with a blend of determination and benevolence. Consider the straightforward act of positioning your alarm device across the chamber. It's not exclusively about making it physically more challenging to delay. It's a statement. It's a dedication to commence the day on your conditions, to rise despite the comfort of the bed's embrace. It's a minor act of resistance against the inertia of sleep and comfort, a step toward welcoming the day with purposefulness. Similarly, making your bed each morning might feel like a trivial task, especially when you're the exclusive one who'll perceive it. Yet it's so much more than smoothing sheets and fluffing cushions. It's an exercise in care, in telling yourself that your environment and how you engage with it matters. It's about creating a territory that reflects the order and respect you're developing within yourself. These minor victories, as Marcus Aurelius would probably argue, are the construction blocks of a disciplined existence. They're the everyday selections that, while easy to overlook, cumulatively shape our nature. Each time you select to execute these little things, you're casting a vote for the type of individual you want to become. You're selecting to be someone who values discipline, order, and respect for oneself and one's environment. But why concentrate on these minor acts? Because they're within everyone's reach. Not all of us can command the major circumstances in our existences, the upheavals, the unexpected turns, but we can command how we respond to the commencement of each day, how we treat our immediate surroundings, and how we prime ourselves for whatever lies ahead. This is Stoicism in behavior, concentrating on what's in our authority to command and releasing what isn't. Moreover, these practices aren't exclusively about constructing discipline for discipline's sake. They're about developing an orientation that's prepared for life's bigger challenges. If you can commit to these minor acts of discipline, you're conditioning yourself to uphold your dedications in more consequential areas. You're sharpening your capacity to follow through, to remain steady in confronting adversity, and to approach existence with a composed, collected demeanor, qualities that define the Stoic ideal. So as you consider the function of discipline in your existence, commence minor. Look for those everyday chances to practice self-command and order. Remember, it's in these instants, in the quietness of the morning, when you determine to rise and confront the day with purposefulness, that your nature is forged. These practices are not exclusively chores or tasks. They're rituals, imbuing your day with objective and your existence with a sensation of direction and significance. The concept here is straightforward, yet profoundly impactful. Sharing your ambitions with someone who not exclusively supports you, but also holds you responsible, can substantially amplify your chances of success. It transforms an individual expedition into a shared adventure, making the trajectory to fulfilling your morning sequence and ultimately your life's objective less daunting and more enjoyable. Think of your accountability companion as your ally in the pursuit of self-enhancement. This individual is present to remind you of your dedications when the warmth of your bed feels too comforting to leave. In the early hours, they're present to encourage you when progress seems slow and to celebrate your victories, no matter how minor. This relationship is a reciprocal streak. It's about mutual support and encouragement, grounded in the comprehension that we're all striving to become the optimal versions of ourselves. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, frequently emphasize the significance of community and relationships in the development of nature and virtue. They believed in the authority of knowledge shared, in discovering from one another, and in the strength that comes from understanding you're not alone in your struggles. Finding an accountability companion in today's reality is a nod to this timeless knowledge, recognizing that while the expedition toward self-discipline and objective is individual, it need not be solitary. Moreover, an accountability companion can assist you in perceiving blind spots in your sequence or approach that you might miss on your own. They can offer new viewpoints and understanding that can catalyze your development in unexpected methods. This partnership is about more than exclusively verifying to perceive if you awakened on time or followed through on your morning contemplation. It's about participating in meaningful dialogue about what's functioning, what isn't, and how you can both support each other in making adjustments. So how do you discover this accountability companion? Look for someone who shares your dedication to development and self-enhancement. This could be a companion, a family member, or even a colleague. The key is to select someone you trust, someone with whom you can be open and honest about your ambitions, struggles, and successes. Once you've located that individual, be transparent about what you're hoping to accomplish and what type of support you require. Establish regular verifications and be present for each other, offering encouragement, advice, and when necessary, a gentle nudge back on trajectory. Remember, Finding an accountability companion is about more than exclusively external motivation. It's about constructing a relationship that inspires and elevates both of you. It's about creating a shared territory where honesty, vulnerability, and mutual support are valued and nurtured. In this territory, your morning sequences and broader existence ambitions become intertwined in a collective effort toward living a more deliberate, disciplined, and fulfilling existence. The Stoic practice of contemplating mortality is a summons to behavior, a prompt to exist our existences with objective and purposefulness. It encourages us not to squander our time on trivialities, but to concentrate on creating a meaningful legacy. Every morning when we awaken, we're presented with a fresh chance to engage with existence in a meaningful manner, to contribute positively to the realities surrounding us, and to pursue individual development and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently wrote about the fleeting nature of existence, emphasizing the significance of living virtuously and making the most of the time we possess. This wasn't meant to be somber. Rather, it was a liberating recognition that freed him from petty concerns and permitted him to concentrate on his duties as emperor and as a human being, striving for virtue. The concept is that by keeping the conclusion in consciousness, we're more probable to exist our existences with objective and transparency, prioritizing the things and relationships that genuinely matter. Remembering death in the framework of our morning sequences transforms how we approach each day. It's not exclusively another day. It's a day that we've been gifted, one that's not guaranteed to anyone. This recognition can profoundly impact how we select to invest our time, the activities we engage in, the relationships we nurture, and the legacy we strive to construct. It's a reminder to exist fully, to cherish deeply, and to leave the reality somewhat superior than we discovered it. Moreover, this Stoic practice assists us in maintaining viewpoint in confronting life's unavoidable challenges and obstacles. When we remember that our time is limited, the daily annoyances and barriers lose much of their authority over us. We become more resilient, more concentrated on our long-term ambitions, and less probable to be derailed by temporary difficulties. It's a practice that encourages gratitude for the present instant and inspires us to make the most of it. So how can we incorporate this Stoic principle into our daily existences? It begins with an instant of contemplation each morning. Consider the day ahead as a blank canvas, a chance to contribute positively to your existence narrative and to those surrounding you. Ask yourself, if this were my final day, would I be proud of how I'm selecting to invest it? This doesn't signify living in a constant condition of existential crisis, but rather developing a profound appreciation for the now, for the chance to exist, discover, and cherish. In welcoming the Stoic practice of remembering death, we're not concentrating on the conclusion, but on the present and how we select to exist each day. It's a potent antidote to complacency and a reminder to exist our existences with purposefulness, objective, and gratitude. So let's greet each morning with the consciousness that it is a gift, a chance to craft an existence that's abundant in significance and coordinated with our deepest beliefs. This is the essence of living stoically, of making the most of our finite time in this reality to create a legacy that endures. We're frequently told to concentrate on the positive, to visualize success and satisfaction in order to attract them into our existences. However, the Stoics, in their profound knowledge, offer a different viewpoint that's not exclusively practical, but incredibly empowering. Negative visualization isn't about pessimism. Rather, it's an instrument for resilience, preparation, and ultimately greater appreciation of the present. The essence of this practice is to periodically imagine the challenges, losses, or difficulties you might confront in existence. This could range from minor inconveniences like a missed transportation or a rainy day to more consequential hardships such as the loss of employment or a cherished individual. The objective isn't to dwell on these scenarios in a manner that breeds fear or anxiety, but to mentally rehearse how you would cope with such circumstances should they arise. This process of visualization prepares you emotionally and mentally, making you less vulnerable to being thrown off trajectory by life's unavoidable rises and falls. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, they all believed that by contemplating the temporary nature of everything outside our command, we could develop a deeper sensation of serenity and resilience. This practice encourages us to concentrate on what we can command, our responses, our perspectives, and our behaviors. Incorporating negative visualization into your morning sequence can transform how you approach your day. Instead of stepping out the door blind to the potential challenges ahead, you're mentally equipped to confront them. It's like a mental conditioning session where you fortify your resilience capacities. So when existence unavoidably launches a curveball your direction, you're not knocked off your feet. You've already rehearsed this instant in your consciousness and can draw upon your pre-visualized approaches to traverse through it. Moreover, this practice has a magnificent, somewhat paradoxical effect. It enhances our gratitude for the present instant. By imagining existence without some of the things we take for granted, we come back to reality with a renewed appreciation for them. It's a reminder of how much we possess to be thankful for right now, in this instant. This isn't about dwelling in fear of loss, but about utilizing the thought of it to deepen our appreciation for the here and now. So how do we practice negative visualization in a healthy, constructive manner? Commence with a few instants in the morning to contemplate potential challenges of the day or broader future possibilities. Visualize how you would ideally respond, what strengths you would draw upon, what teachings you could discover, and how you could develop from the experience. Then release the visualization and proceed with your day, carrying with you a sensation of preparedness and an enhanced appreciation for your current situations. Incorporating gratitude into our existences, especially as we conclude our day, can possess a transformative impact on our well-being and outlook. Keeping a gratitude journal is a magnificently straightforward yet profoundly effective method to develop this sensation of appreciation. It's about taking a few instants before we sleep to contemplate on the day and document a few things we're grateful for. This could be anything from a benevolent gesture from a stranger, a magnificent sunset, the completion of a challenging task, or simply the comfort of our bed waiting to embrace us at the conclusion of a long day. The act of documenting what we're grateful for transforms our concentration from what's lacking in our existences to the abundance that's already present. It's a practice that coordinates perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize concentrating on what we possess rather than what we don't, on what's within our command rather than what isn't. This transformation in viewpoint not exclusively establishes the stage for a serene night's sleep, free from the turmoil of unfulfilled desires or lingering frustrations, but it also primes our consciousness to commence the subsequent day with a sensation of objective and appreciation. But why conclude the day with gratitude? Because it permits us to close our day on a note of positivity, regardless of the challenges we may have confronted. It's a method of reaffirming the positive in our existences, of discovering serenity, even in turmoil, and of nurturing an orientation that perceives chances for development and joy in every situation. This nightly practice of gratitude creates a ripple effect, influencing not exclusively how we sleep, but how we awaken and approach our mornings. It transforms our initial interpretations of the day, from groans over the alarm device to a quiet anticipation of what the new day holds, what new things we might discover to be grateful for. Moreover, this practice of appreciating our existence extends beyond our individual sphere. It enhances our relationships as we become more attuned to the value of those surrounding us and more expressive of our appreciation for their presence in our existences. It deepens our connection to the reality as we become more observant of and thankful for the magnificence and wonder that surround us, frequently in the most mundane instance. So as we consider the multitude of approaches to enrich our mornings, and by extension our existences, let's not overlook the authority of concluding our day with gratitude. It's a practice that embodies the Stoic pursuit of a positive existence, one marked not by external accomplishments or material possessions, but by internal serenity, contentment, and a deep-seated appreciation for the present instant. As we conclude this expedition through the 10 approaches inspired by Stoicism, it's transparent that each step, each practice is more than exclusively a task. It's a trajectory to developing an existence of purposefulness, resilience, and profound gratitude. Welcoming these practices doesn't signify every day will be perfect, but it does signify that every day will be met with a stronger, more grateful, and more resilient you. You possess within you the authority to transform not exclusively your mornings, but your entire existence into a reflection of the Stoic ideals of virtue, knowledge, and contentment. Remember, this is exclusively the beginning. There's an entire reality of Stoic knowledge waiting to be explored, prepared to guide you on your trajectory to living a more meaningful and fulfilled existence. If you discovered this expedition enlightening and are intrigued to dive deeper into the Stoic manner of existence, I encourage you to examine our playlist right here on the screen. It's packed with understanding, narratives, and practical guidance to assist you in welcoming the full abundance of Stoic philosophy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Please leave your observations and share your experiences. Let's embark on this expedition of development, resilience, and fulfillment together. Here's to mornings filled with objective, days lived with purposefulness, and an existence brimming with gratitude. Thank you for being part of the Stoic Journal community. See you soon.